Okay, so this is a lecture on what's called the Toulmin model of argument. Toulmin created this in contrast to the Aristotelian uh, absolute argument, which we'll also look at, which includes logos, pathos, and ethos. This, however, we're going to look at it through the question of what car should we buy as an example. So you've got things such as we should buy the Geo Metro because it's economical, should buy the used Volvo because it's safe, and we should buy this Ford Falcon because it is red. All right, so the Toulmin model consists of assumptions. And so we should buy this Geo Metro because it is economical. What are the assumptions for this statement? And we should buy this used Volvo because it is safe. What is the assumption for this statement? Well, one is that the statement is actually true, which is actually a begging the question fallacy without proof, but we'll go into that later in the semester. Um, so it's that it's economical. The other assumption is about your audience, is that your audience assumes that you're assuming that your audience cares that it's economical. And with the Volvo, it's that the assumption is that it's safe and your audience cares about the safety of the vehicle more than other factors. All right, so how do you support the statement we should buy the Geo Metro because it's economical? Well, you look at things such as the price compared to other cars, to other vehicles. You look to things such as gas mileage. How often is it going to need to be repaired? How expensive are the parts? Right? So a Geo Metro uh, is going to have American-made parts. It'll be cheaper than like a Jaguar, which has foreign-made parts. With the Volvo, you look at things like the crash tests that are done by Consumer Protection Agency. How well does it do during those? You look at what type of safety equipment it has. Does it have a roll bar in the ceiling or in the roof of the car? What about airbags that have passenger and driver airbags, seat belts, that type of thing? What's it made of? How is it built? And that's how you support that type of investment. All right, now with this, the Ford Falcon, you should buy it because it's red. What's wrong with the statement? The car is red, but you don't know what type of assumption to make. What can you assume about your audience that would buy a car because it's red? All right, so with the Toulmin model, which we kind of talked about, you've got three parts. You've got the claim, what the argument is arguing for. You've got support or grounds that actually supports the claim. This is going to be evidence and facts, statistics, that type of thing. And then you have the assumptions or warrants as to what uh, is assumed about the claim and about your audience. So the claim is just the main point you're arguing. This is your main idea or thesis in a normal essay. In an argument essay, we call it the claim. Now, this can be stated directly or implied. I highly recommend for this class, make it a direct statement. Don't imply it. But you will find as you start looking at arguments, and especially actual arguments that take place in real life, a lot of the arguments tend to be implied. Or there could be arguments within an argument where the sub-argument is implied. And usually you have whatever an inference or judgment. So an inference is you're inferring something from evidence that's been gathered. A judgment tends to be a moral or ethical judgment, and that tends to be a little hazy. So inferences are statements based on facts. So your conclusions are then drawn from an analysis of the facts. Um, to look at climate change, you would look at what facts are actually laid out, what statistics are laid out by scientists to support or to disprove climate change. And they have to be verifiable. Facts are not what most people tend to think of as facts nowadays because I say it. Well, no, that doesn't make it a fact. You have to be able to find support, uh, for things like the anti-vaccination argument. Well, where's the support for that argument? What are the actual scientific studies? Our inferences vary regarding how close they are to the facts that support them. Uh, when you get a scientific theory, at first that inference may not be as strong as more, as few experiments have been done to gather evidence. But as more and more experiments are done, and as time goes by and more data is gathered, then those inferences become stronger because they're closer to the facts that them. All right, judgments are opinions based on values, beliefs, or philosophical concepts. So you have ethical judgments such as lawyers should not advertise. Right? This is not as strong as a moral judgment that just says this doesn't seem right. That is probably not best that lawyers advertise. Moral judgments tend to be stronger, tend to be tied more to someone's religious or spiritual beliefs, and tend to evoke more emotion from people. So taking another person's life is wrong is a moral judgment. And that varies. I mean, for a Christian, there are times when it's fine to take a life. For someone like a Buddhist, there is no time that's fine to take a life. All right, supporter grounds. These are your reasons, evidence providing support of a claim, and this is what you'll be looking at in this class: is finding logic, reasons, examples, and statistics uh, for your claim. So here's a claim: the smoking should be banned in restaurants because, and here are your grounds. Secondhand smoke is a serious health hazard. All right, so that's in the support of why it should be banned. Now, however, your grounds will need support as well. You'll have to show through studies, through experiments, uh, that secondhand smoke is a serious health hazard. Now, your assumptions or warrants answer the question of the why reader should believe your grounds. We should buy a Volvo because it's very safe. The warrant is that safety is the major concern when buying a car. And whom this might work for is a young couple with young children. I mean, their major concern may be for the safety of the car. For a 16-year-old who's trying to, drive the fastest car he or she can afford, yeah, safety may not be the thing that's most important. So you have to take that into account, which is why you have to be aware of your audience, especially when we're writing arguments. All right, that wraps up part one. Uh, you can go on to part two.